Hello, this is Ronald Bird with another edition of Style Speaks. I'm very excited to have a friend of mine with me today to talk to me on our very special edition of Style Speaks, Black History Month, acknowledging and recognizing black men today in the Washington metropolitan area who are doing wonderful things, and this brother's no exception. Mr. Kevin Gray is an artist, relations specialist, creator of his own blog, Men's Style Point. Welcome, Kevin.
Welcome. Thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for talking to us today. Listen, tell me, Kevin, where are you from?
I'm originally from Washington, D.C.
Oh, are you really?
Born and raised, and moved about the area, PG County and things. So yes, but I'm local.
Okay. Always, never really left home, but
Right.
Okay. Do you think? Okay, how long have you been in this business of style and fashion?
It's funny. I actually got my start last year.
Okay.
Just a year, officially. But I've been into the style and fashion thing, just for a while, finding my own style first.
Okay.
Okay. That's a career.
Looks like you found it.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Okay.
Yeah. And so less than a year actually, summertime. And funny, there's a place behind us, Alton Lane. It's where I first got my first contacts, with some people.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
wonderful. Well, why men's fashion? Why did you want to necessarily concentrate on men's fashion as opposed to women's fashion? I would say.
Well, because I grew up in a house. It was just all guys for the most part. My brothers, my dad, mom was there, but everything was focused, on the men.
Okay.
And even the women in the house, they were like, we want our men to be as sharp as possible. And I said, hey, okay, I see what you guys mean. I see where you guys are taking me, and I enjoy it. And it's an art. And I saw that art form, and I said, hey, let's go with this.
Okay. Well, when did you what was your muse? What kind of set the pace for you? I mean, a lot of times, I think growing up, we don't really have a lot of influences, in our home, or we watch people on TV. But what kind of inspired you to kind of take that that direction, or was it kind of something always in you, or did you kind of develop that as you got older?
I think it was twofold. At first, I was just, regular kid, ball player, wearing sneakers and everything. But one was my aunt. She was very stylish, and she would dress my older brother and I. She would take us to stores like Back Rack and what was it, Structure, back when they
Okay, I remember Structure.
Yeah, and this is when I'm a preteen, and she's like, you guys are gonna look different from all your your classmates. But then on the other side, there was my grandfather and my dad, who they told me those timeless things, that like how to dress.
Okay.
You buy the things, but I'll show you how to put them on. And it was just like, wow, this is amazing.
Okay.
So it was twofold. That kind of blended those together.
So that kind of piqued your interest,
Yes.
kind of watching your father and them kind of giving you a little, style.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily. Well, do you think it was in you, or you just had to kind of adapt to it or learn?
I adapted. Yeah, like I said, I would wear basketball shorts and sneakers everywhere, but and I saw when I did dress differently, I saw the
attention
reaction.
you was right.
Yeah, and I said, okay, I love attention.
Attention hog.
Yeah, pretty much. And being a middle child, I needed attention.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was, and I saw all those things and I said, hey, this is my niche.
Well, tell me this: why did you decide to pursue it, professionally, where it got to be a point where it became dominant in your personal life, and you really took, heed to the influences in your life, and you wanted to make a career out of it or do something with this long, ongoing?
I think it was friends. Lots of friends, guys and girls alike. They would come to me asking me advice on, how to dress, or, hey, my boyfriend wants to dress like this. Can you, help me out? And I said, you know what?
I used to get that.
Yeah. But then you're like, I need to go somewhere with this.
Right.
So then a friend of mine said, you should do a blog. I was like, oh, that'd be interesting,
Okay.
And then that's how it just got built from there.
Okay.
And took off. Yeah.
Well, being a native Washingtonian, I'm sure you've had a lot of time to kind of move about the city and watch people and their styles in the different decades and how style has changed in DC. But where do you pair DC as being one of the fashion meccas? I mean, do you consider yourself in a place where fashion is profound and people are really into their style and their, inner divas and divos or whatever?
That's a very interesting question, because as you may know, DC is run by Capitol Hill, which is very conservative, very boxy.
Considered very conservative.
Yeah.
But that used to be, not for cutting you off, that used to be back in the 80s and 90s, I think so, but now I think that's maybe changing a little bit, but I mean...
Yeah, I think it is, little by little. I really believe it's changing, but I think as far as DC goes, they have to get away from, like, I don't want to down any kind of brand, but like Brooks Brothers and Joseph A. Bank, if they start to pull away from that look, you know, I think DC they want more flavor, because if you look outside of the suits, sort of, you have a lot of flavor, especially with African Americans in the city. Oh, it's full of flavor, you know, it has its own flavor, which is good, but then it hasn't permeated into the professional field yet.
Okay.
But it will.
Okay.
I believe
well, it takes people like you to walk up and down the street to get those, you know, maybe people like me too, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I try to do what I can do.
I see. Kudos to
But,
this
you know, speaking of what you can do, well, what do you think you can do with your blog and your sense of style and fashion to kind of bring DC even higher on the map? I mean, right now DC does have a fashion week. I'm not sure if a lot of people are even aware of it. But I mean, of course, it's not on the scale of a New York City or Milan in Europe or whatever. But I mean, I think we can really kind of get there where we can bring some high-end designers to DC, you know, have a star-studded fashion week like in New York. But it's kind of a low scale right now with some local designers or whatever. But, you know, how do you think you can contribute to that or bring more attention to, or could you even see that, you know, in the future for DC?
I do see it in the future, and I think it can happen by slowly pushing the envelope. You know, it just slow. I don't think DC will go from, you know, that conservative look to couture, you know, running.
Right.
But if, let's say, a store like Suit Supply, where they have suits, but you know, they have, you know, different, like they have window pane suits and, you know, lots of herringbone. So you start pushing that out into the streets, and they say, oh, okay, that looks good in the office as well.
Right.
And then it kind of just trickles on down, and then next thing you know, designers want to come here, you know, big designers, even though you have some here, more want to come and actually showcase it. And then from here, take it off.
So maybe in the next, decade or so, maybe?
I give it less than that.
Okay,
because
wonderful.
How DC is a transient city, so you have lots of people coming in and out, and, you know, movers and shakers are coming, and they want to capture them before they leave, you know, and go to another big city. So I think it's going to kind of be accelerated. I'd say 5.
Wonderful. That sounds good. I was going to say 10, but I mean, I like your
Don't
optimism.
put my money on it. I ain't put my money
We're
on it.
going to go with him. I'm going to do whatever I can do to help that, you know, jumpstart that too.
I have faith.
Well, definitely. Well, I really appreciate you taking your time to talk to me today, man. And how can we find you and your blog?
Okay, you can find me on the streets of DC. No. Men's Style Point.
We're not going to say what Kona, but...
No, menstylepoint.com is where you can find me. That's my blog, and Facebook is, what's my Facebook? Facebook.com/KevLive. I'm on there, and just, you know, nothing serious.
Check him out. He's got it going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you,
so
Bob,
much.
man.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah.